Hello lovely people, I'm Catherine and welcome to this week's episode of Slow Journaling, and here's my cup of tea. I'm just going to have a sip, sorry. I probably should have done that before I started. I'll just move it over there a little bit so you don't have to stare down into its dark tannin-rich depths. I'm a bit cramped here because I've got my sewing machine just there. So I've been making a blind for the kitchen window, but that's another story. A thicker blind, I'll tell you as I go along if I remember. I'll definitely show it somewhere when it's done. So my only thought for today really was to go into my tin with all the little bits from the bundle that was in the woods and put them into the journal, some of them somewhere. Don't know how, don't know when, well I do know when. So let's get the journal out. I'm really enjoying this, doing this like this with you, because I don't look at my journal at all in between or do anything in it really. You know, I just get it out and sit down and put the camera on and work with you, and it's, yeah, I'm really enjoying that way of working. I hope you are too. So I'll set my cover to one side. Yeah, see where I get to. So I've got, standing by, I've got some needles and a needle and some threads, and I've also got my tacky glue and a glue stick, because I don't know if I'm going to stitch them in or glue them in, or what I'm going to do. And I've got a little basket with some bits of cloth as well in case I want some extra bits of cloth. The only thing I haven't got is any other bits of paper, have I? No. Oh well. I've got my collage box behind me if necessary. So I'm just going to witter and work away for an hour and see where I get to. Neighbours having a chat outside. It's the morning dog walk, I think. I've already been with Stella. I was awake quite early. No. Stells. She's now going to join in the conversation. A few of them meet up just outside here and then they go for a walk together, which is lovely. Sometimes I go with them. So I don't know whether to start with the bit and look for somewhere to put it, or start with the place, and you know, this is process focused. This bit seemed to jump into my hand. Just wondering actually if it might be nice to use a little bit as a headdress for her. Maybe a slightly bigger bit. Maybe I'm inspired by the Monday journal where I put a rose on the head of my. Now that, you see, that, and maybe it needs a little button or something. Is there a little button laying around the place? Somewhere? A little button. Oh, how about one of these from Machtalt, these special brads? I wonder if it would take having a hole through it. This. I'm just thinking if I make a little hole, put that through there, perhaps I'll do that. I think I might glue it as well. I think I use the tacky glue. Whoops, oh, it's coming out. Well, that's strange, because the tacky glue is, where's a rag? Is cream, and what's coming out is, you know, sorry, cream, white, the colour of cream. But what's coming out is not, it's clear, so I think I might need to close it and give it a shake. Oh, I've got into a mess. Make sure the lid's on first, Catherine, and then give it a shake. I've had it upside down because it's running low. Sorry, I'm sounding funny because I'm shaking. Remember the children doing that when you give them a ride in the wheelbarrow? You ever done that with children? You know, like if you're doing work in the garden and you're wheelbarrowing. I can remember myself having rides in the wheelbarrow when my dad was doing work. And on the return trip, when the wheelbarrow's empty, you hop in and have a ride. And my dad used to run and deliberately go over bumps and things. And I can vividly remember sitting in the wheelbarrow, holding onto the sides and going like, you know, going like that, and then as you go over the bumps it goes I don't remember, sorry, random memory. Right, let's see what comes out now. That looks better colour. Still looks a bit weird. Hope it works. That's too much now. Oh, stop coming out. I'm getting in a mess. I'm just going to use the cloth just to spread that a bit so that my fingers don't get absolutely ridiculously disgusting. Need a bit more on that bit, I think. But it feels quite sturdy, and actually the glue will sort of help it be sturdy as well, but a tiny bit. This is quite messy. Right, I'm going to put that on her hair. If you can see my head, you know by now that I apologise, but at the same time I have to check that it's in the right place. There. I just need that to dry a minute, I think. There's my little rag, which is not damp. I should have dampened it. Let me just go and dampen it. I'll edit out the sound of my chair scraping and me rattling about into the kitchen and back. Right, I'm back, and I got a new tacky glue as well. I will definitely use this, but I use it when I'm not videoing. I'm just going to leave that all like that. That'll all dry and then I can peel it off. And I've dampened my cloth and now I've got wet hands. Oh well. Whoops, don't drip on your book, Catherine. Let me put that. I'll put that on the lid of my tin, but I'll put it out of shot because it's shiny. It'll shine at you. Okay, so just drying my hands on my trousers. So I need my little pokey awl. Is that dry enough now for me to poke it? Or will it all go horribly wrong? I'm just wondering if that's sturdy enough. I think I might put a bit of paper on the back as well. So I'm going to get that box of collage paper. Just find a bit of something sturdier. Don't have to be too thick. So it can add a bit of structural integrity, shall we say. Sorry about my arm now while I riffle. Shall I? It's probably nicer for you to watch the riffling than just see my arm and hear noises off. A little square of eco print or something would be nice, I think. There we go, how about that? It's a bit flimsy. But this, I don't know if I've shown you in this box before, I know I've talked about it, but this is basically my bits of collage paper. That feels sturdier. It's a bit of this, some of that. Actually, that's quite nice with the holes. So I might just, I think I might have that so the holes stick out. And I like this torn bit as well. I might just go for the whole strip and just tear a tiny bit off the bottom. Just adds another element, doesn't it? Yeah, I'll do that. I won't even use the ruler. Let's go mad. Let's go mad. Let's just rough tear it somewhere there. And that bit can go, I'll put it back in the collage later, or maybe it will get used. I do now need to ink that, of course, you know me. And get the ink box out. That little dobber that's falling to bits. So I'm just going to ink this. I found a lovely new channel. Well, I didn't find it, somebody recommended it and I can't remember who. She's called Laurie Marie, oh goodness, Laurie Marie or Laurie May Jenkins. She's a mixed media artist in California and I've only managed to watch a couple of her videos so far, but I love her style. She's super grungy. She has all kinds of really great ideas and she makes a mess and makes no apologies for making a mess. My kind of girl. And I've watched a video of hers which informs my Monday video. So I'll talk more about her when I do that. I don't want to do spoilers, but for my journal on Monday, I've got an image that I've wanted to use for a while and not had an idea as to how. Well, now I have an idea, so and it fits in nicely with a poem that I've in the process of writing, so I now just have to do a final edit on it, make sure I'm happy with it, and then I shall use that on Monday as well. Yeah, so I just love how things come together. You just need to be open, kind of open to these ideas that are out there. They're kind of out there and in here. I'm pointing to my head. That's a lovely tear on the back, but I just need to darken it a bit. Oops. And then, you know, so that's how I create, really. You'll have to tell me how you know, how your thought can't even speak. Thought processes work. But I have all these ideas myself in my brain. Some of them stay, some of them get lost, never to be seen again. Some of them get lost for a while and then resurface. I think I've talked about it before. Liz Gilbert in her book Big Magic talks about ideas as having kind of a life of their own and being out there and floating around until they find a brain to lodge in. It's an interesting idea. I think that's enough ink on that, Catherine. I'm going to completely obscure... Apparently it isn't. Right, stop. Yeah, so I have ideas in my brain, and then there are ideas out there, aren't there, that we come across, that we see, or that we hear about. And it's just kind of being receptive to those ideas and giving them a room to kind of enter your brain, and then they... I'm trying to explain. And then they kind of... you know, swim around in there with your own ideas. I'm just going to glue that. I think I might... will glue stick be strong enough? Probably the Yoo-hoo will. The Yoo-hoo is pretty good. So I need some glue stick about there to there. And yeah, and then those ideas kind of meet, fall in love, get married and have a baby. Or sometimes all in the space of, you know, no time flat. And that baby becomes a fully formed concept in its own right. That's sort of how, that's my creative process. Yeah, I wanted it that way, didn't I? Something like that. Let's just put it there loosely and turn it over and make sure I'm happy with it. I want that slightly further out. There we go. And you see that there, this is another thing. Sewing machine, you're taking up too much room. You're a beast. It is a big beast. It's my machine that I had when I was doing a lot of free machine quilting. But it's a good solid machine. Yeah, so this started with needing a bit of something to reinforce this thin paper, and it's grown into a design element in its own right. And this is just what I love about mixed media. I think that's going to stick well enough. So now I want to put this somewhere through there, as if it's a little headdress. I want it sort of, my whichever side of the brain is the practical side, I can never remember which is right and which is left, wants it dead centre of that area, but then the creative side of my brain is going, no, because you don't want to cover up that whole rusty thing, so I might put it a bit of jaunty. I should put something behind so I don't poke my finger. What can I put behind there? Let's put this little notebook. I won't mind having a little hole in it, it'll still work as a notebook. There you go. Am I in the notebook? Yes. There we go. Undo pig. And through goes this sturdy little thing. Come on. Come on. I know it's tough. There we go. There we go. So I can still see a little bit of my rusty thing. I think that looks quite cool. I expect it's winking at you because it's shiny, but... And then we'll squish the little legs down. And then I think we might stick something else on to hide the little legs, which then will create another design element on the next page. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Can you see, can you see? Am I holding it in the right place? I hope so. So she's now got a little headdress made from a bit of the cloth that was in the woods. Right, so let's do something here while we're about it. I don't know if I want to use more of this on there. I mean, it looks cool, but it'll look cool everywhere because it just is cool stuff. But I don't want to use it all in the beginning of the book, and you know, I want to scatter it through, so I might not use that because there's not a lot of it. There must be something in here I can use in this big stack of goodness, or even maybe a couple of somethings layered up. Also, because there's no pressure on this, because I've called it slow, so you know, that's like the warning at the beginning. That's actually the wrap for my mixed media journal. I don't know why it's laying here. So it doesn't matter if I spend the whole video just doing that one page, then that's fine, isn't it? It's fine by me, and it's fine by you. Oh, I did find this. This came out of a bundle that I made, and I remember I was teaching at my friend's patchwork shop. She doesn't have it anymore, and I was doing these little bundles and leaving them in random places, as I do now. This was probably 10 years ago, maybe more. And I made a little bundle, and a lady in the workshop had brought me some treasure, some big rusty washers, because she knew me. She knew I'd appreciate that. And then it was my tea bags from the tea I'd drunk during that workshop, and I wrapped the rusty washers and the tea bags in this little bit of cloth, which I think is a bit of silk noil. And then I left it where she had her shop was in the grounds of Barrington Court, which is a National Trust stately home. And there were these stone lions guarding the gates, and I tucked this in behind one of the stone lions, and then I left it there for a few weeks, I think, until I went back to teach again. And that's that bit of cloth. And I just found it the other day. I think that might need to go somewhere in this book. I don't know where. And I don't know if I sort of add it in as a page. I might do that rather than tear it up. But yeah, that's how these little cloths get a memory, not only of the people and the day and everything, but also the place is literally imprinted into them. You know, my tea that I drank that day, and a lovely gift from the lady of the rusty washers. Sorry, I'm looking at my cloths. I suppose you want to see that as well. There's a spine off a book. That's a spine off a journal. That's your journal, Mand, if you're watching. That was a spine off your journal. What is now your journal? Off the book that made your journal. What's this? Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I like that. A little unexpected pop of orange and purple. Let's have that. Let's have that. When you're happy, look no further. Just go for it. So what I think I might do is stitch that onto that, and then glue that onto that. Yes, so stitching, cup of tea, sip of tea. I might then, those little tiny fragments, I might put some of them in my little pocket. Just have that thought. Let's get a bit of something. Maybe, have I got orange thread in here? Yes, there's a bit there, right on the top. Look at that, just waiting for me. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. So, yeah, it's so nice, this project. I have no deadline. I guess I vaguely thought it might take me the year. But it might not. It might finish sooner, or it might take longer. And everything is fine. It has no deadline, it has no purpose other than for the joy of making it. And it's just nice to have this. I mean, there are others, I've made a I've done a little altered book or a little journal, which will be coming up at the towards the end of March for my Ko-fi supporters. So which took me, you know, maybe a day, but the video is not a day long. Either sorry to disappoint, or you'll be glad to hear, depending on your perspective. So I'm just going to stitch this to this. I might just do some kind of overcast stitch around the edges, I don't know. So yeah, I think it's nice to have both kinds of projects, isn't it? It's nice to have projects that you get the satisfaction of making something, creating something in a fairly short space of time. But it's also nice to have these long, slow projects. I feel like I want to put a button on there as well. I did see a button when I was looking in there for that. Sorry for my arm again. I expect you've all gone back to your knitting and your stitching. Just in case anybody is actually watching, I apologise for my arm. See, I've got, I don't know how many buttons in my studio, but there's 3 or 4 in here, so I'll just make do with what's to hand. So I'm going to start by stitching that button on somewhere up at the top here. Just take a couple of stitches first. I'm going to use the orange thread. It's a 4-hole button. With 4-hole buttons I always like to stitch them on with a cross. So go diagonally across the holes. I might do that a couple of times. Well, it has gone cloudy. They did say it might rain today. We've had a lovely last few days of weather, absolutely no complaints, and absolutely no complaints if it rains either. I know some of you, especially down in Australia, there's been a cyclone, hasn't there? I hope you're all safe and well. So I'm not going to complain about the gentle English spring weather at all. I'm just going to do some little stitches like that, and I might not even go all the way down, I might just do a few at the top. Has to be 3 or 5, can't have even numbers, let's do 5. That's just me. It's just a quirk. I think it's a quirk that comes from when I did garden design. And you plant plants in groups of odd numbers just because it's visually more pleasing. I'm just going to jump over on the back because it's going to be glued down anyway. And I'm not trying to line them up with the other side, but I do want 5 as well. Bit of symmetry sometimes. Sometimes I want symmetry, sometimes I don't. I'll go right up there with that one. There we go. So completely wonky, but there's some element of cohesion in that there's 5 stitches each side. Just that a couple of times, that's good enough because it's going to get glued. They're the blunties, but I don't really have the snippies out when I'm doing mixed media, otherwise I'm inclined to use them on things I shouldn't. Right, so that's going to stick there. I'm going to cut that little, that's not pleasing me. I'm just thinking as well, thinking on my feet, well not on my feet, I'm on my bottom, thinking on my bottom, I might put something behind there. So if I'm going to glue that down at the top, just at the top over the legs of my little brad, or I could put under there, I'm just thinking of a hidden word. So I could put a hidden word, I could put a hidden word under there. I hope I haven't moved out of frame now. Let me just check. Yes, I'm not. I could move over a bit. I could put a hidden word there, or I could put a hidden word there. Or I could do both. Let's do both. Let's find some words. So here's my word 10. I know what I did find in a magazine, and I won't be able to find it now probably. It was blue. Yes, here we go. Look, it's the first line of the Mary Oliver poem. It was literally in a magazine. There was something else afterwards, and there's also, I need the word you. You. Talk amongst yourselves. I know it's in here somewhere. There are all kinds of ways that people organise these. I've seen people lay them out in Polly Pockets and all that so that you can see what you're looking for at a glance. I guess you could, I don't know, alphabetise them or put them in some kind of order. No, that's not it either. But I just like to normally I just will riffle through and see what speaks to me. Now I'm obviously looking for something specific. I put it there so you can see, and then I've put my head in the way, which is not helpful, is it? I just want the word you. That I want that in here as well, because she screamed but she did not run away. That speaks to, and that's also good. If I can't find you, maybe I'll do that somewhere else. But I couldn't believe it. I was going through this magazine, and there's the first line of the Mary Oliver poem. It was nothing to do with Mary Oliver. It said something like, you do not have to be good at embroidery to be able to, you know, something like that. But it leapt off the page at me. Oh, there's a thingy bob envelope. Was that called glassine or something? Something. I might use those as well. That's the last line of I Worried by Mary Oliver, which I printed out for another spread in my other journal, but didn't use, so I'll put them in here. No, I can't find the word you. I know it's in here somewhere. If it doesn't jump out at me in the next 20 seconds, I shall give up. And it'll go somewhere else in the journal when I find it. Is it 20? Are you timing me? Are you timing me when I said 20 seconds? No, can't. Oh, what was that it? Right on the top? No. Anyway, I'll find it, the word you. I could have written it or stamped it or something, but because I know it's in there, I'm still looking. Stop, Catherine, stop. I don't want to watch you looking through a tin of words all day. So I think that hidden messages, secrets and stories is perfect to be hidden, isn't it? It's just asking to be hidden under there. It's just the right size. Maybe we'll put that one down there. Yes, let's do that. Right, inking. You knew that was coming. Inking and some gluing. And then that's 2 more pages embellished, really. Oh, that's really brittle. Inked. Where's it gone? It's hidden. Okay. And I think I talked in the last Park Home Life about my new bed, which I thought I mean, the bed frame I had before was very old. It was 20 odd years old. It had been Lily's first bed. Oh dear. I think it's just a dog. It's a dog barking, but it sounded like it was crying. But I think I know the dog, and it does sound like that, and it's absolutely fine. It's just it's just its voice. It's not in distress. Stella's going to investigate by sticking her head out of the cat flap. What was I saying? Yes, my bed. Cold tea. Styles, it's alright. I'll have to decide which way round I want that. I think I want it that way. I'm going to use the tacky glue simply because I'm sticking it to cloth. And it's magazine, so it's shiny. I mean the glue stick might work, but messy fingers. Where's my rag now? I've buried it. Let's drape it there. Yeah, but sorry, I got distracted. by the dog. But I had bought a new mattress when I first moved here because I didn't have a single mattress. So I thought long and hard about then replacing that because I'd bought a new mattress. But I really wasn't sleeping very well. And I felt like I was, you know, acting spoilt. I would have been told at one point. But, you know, I'm lucky to have a bed and all that. But then I thought, well, I have got a little amount of savings, which is for my old age, when you all abandon me and I can't sit here and make videos anymore. And I need to feed myself. Sorry, that I was joking, that wasn't a sob story. But I was just joking. And let's glue this just to there. So I thought, you know, it's silly. Sleep is important, Catherine. You have the wherewithals. I do have to say that Stella and Fred are partially to blame because of the amount of room they take up, especially Fred. But that is also a comfort to me. Some people might say, shut them out. Don't let them sleep with you, but I like them to sleep with me. They're a comforting presence. So anyway, I've been through that whole thought process, you know, feeling guilty, feeling like I shouldn't, in inverted commas, and all that. And then the final thing was my neighbour. I asked my neighbour if he knew anybody that would want a single bed. And he said that his daughters, one of his daughter's children had recently broken their bed. And they're on a very low income and... But he didn't say all that, you know, he didn't say it like a sob story. But long story short, long story that I think I've already told you already, sorry. I gave him the bed and the frame for his grandchild. So that seemed like, you know, a message from the universe saying, Catherine, get yourself a new bed because your old bed's going to a good home, you're doing a good turn. So, my whole point is my new mattress came yesterday. I've now got a 4-foot wide bed. It's exactly the same mattress as I had before because I was happy with it. But a foot wider, obviously. And I had the best night's sleep. I feel like a princess in my great big 4-foot wide bed. Right, so... That's, yeah, I'm very happy with that. I like that. I've been wanting to use that little phrase for a while. Should I hold it up so you can see? If you want to look up, I am showing you something. If you haven't all gone to sleep about my boring bed story. So, we had that. We had Kate with, now she's got this little headdress with the scrap from the woods. Bearing in mind the whole purpose of this video is to use up the bits of the wood stuff. Or, you know, to sprinkle them through. What's that? Musings. And I've used that tiny bit so far. But anyway, that has all led to the creation of this little, what would you call that, page edging thing. And it's sturdied up this bit of paper, which was a bit flippy floppy. It's just a bit of old letter paper. And under there I've got hidden messages, secrets and stories. Under there I haven't got anything yet, but maybe I will put something under there at one point. And so now we're ready to move on. You can leave the lid off that for a bit as long as you make sure that there's no glue coming out. I'm talking to myself. I will put some little bits in there because I think that's the perfect place for them. So I'm going to find, I've got these tiny bits like this, so that's just going to be a little home for those. And these tiny bits. I can always come back and get them out again if I decide I need more in the journal itself. Well, these bits I basically rescued out of the little drain thing that's over the, you know, the mesh thing that's over the sink drain. Literally I rescued them from there. I don't think you belong in there. Another little bit. So all the tiny bits, that's the place for them to be. Look at that teeny tiny bit. I think that's it for the tiny bits. There are some other smalls that might go in if I end up not using them. But for now, so now there's something in the pocket. Good. Let's move on. Oh, I've bent my butterfly wing, never mind. So that we made last time. Did that last time or a couple of times ago, can't remember. It's my thistle and my fear not. Maybe it needs a little piece up there. Maybe it just needs 3 little pieces. Just plain, really. Talk amongst yourselves while I fiddle about. So I like those two like that. I'm not sure about, so I'm just going to put those two on for now, I think. Just glue them on. Hope for the best. Come on, out you come. Did I close you? Don't think I did. I just said it's fine to leave you open and now you won't come out. Oh, it wasn't completely open. How did I have it now? That way. Whoa, too much. It does dry clear, but you do sort of still see it. See, this linen is quite sturdy even though it feels brittle. I'm sorry, apparently I need to concentrate. I don't know why I'm only gluing. No, it's almost like little brackets. Stay stuck. No, it's quite sturdy except it's just come off. Just a tiny, tiny bit please, no more. Whoop, that'll do. No, stay stuck. I might just have to leave that to sit a minute. Stay. And see if it stays. Just have a sip of tea. Give that a second. Completely cold. Oh, while I'm waiting for that, I meant to mention this at the beginning. This is the Quirky Quilters exhibition. I mentioned it, excuse me, in Wednesday's stitching video. This is a quilting group that I know quite a lot of them. I used to teach them back in the day. And they're having an exhibition in aid of the Ark at Eggwood and School in a Bag charities at Long Sutton Golf Club, Langport, on Thursday the 13th of March and Friday the 14th of March. And there's a £3 entry fee in aid of the charities, and there'll be a quilt display, textiles, traders and refreshments. Langport is in Somerset, so in England obviously. So if you're local, you know, do, if you can, go along. I'm going to be there on Friday morning in case you're interested. And the other thing is my friend Anna, who's one of the Slow Stitch group that I'm part of, has got an exhibition in Uckfield on, I think it's that same weekend, so but it's the Saturday and Sunday, the 15th and the 16th. I've got her flyer, but I haven't been able to print it out. But I've got a photo of it, so I shall insert it here, excuse me, with all the details. So if you want to know about that exhibition, if you look up now, it'll be on the screen. Okay, and I'll also put all that information in the description box below the video. So if you're in the Uckfield area, which is over the other side of Brighton, I believe, from me, somewhere in Sussex anyway, I'm pretty sure. It might even be Kent. Anyway, I'll put all, if you're in the Uckfield area, you'll know where Uckfield is, I'm sure. But do go, there's Anna and 7 of her colleagues exhibiting, and that promises to be a really good exhibition. Unfortunately, I can't get over there. It's quite a long drive for me on this occasion, but yeah, wish her every success with that. I think that's dry now. My clock's chiming. Don't how long I've been going. Oh, it can go on a bit longer. So I just leave that like that. I think as well, that's the other thing with this way of working. If things don't, you know, if you don't, you're not obliged to finish that whole spread page, whatever. You can just flip about and just play here and there. That's got creased, and you know, there's no pressure. Like slow stitching, only it's slow journaling. I guess that's why I called it slow journaling. Yeah, a few of you said when I made this in the comments that I could have taken the moth's body off and just kept the wings, and I could have done, but I liked the lines, the folds on the moth's body kind of echoed the folds on her dress, so I didn't really think of it in the moment, to be honest, but I'm perfectly happy with how it is. I might put some up there somewhere. And I'm just choosing smaller bits really, because I think the bigger bits I can do little stitch clusters and things with them. I mean, I'm sort of putting them just as decoration really. They're not telling any sort of story, except the fact that they've been, you know, I bundled them and put them in the woods before I started making the journal. So they are part of the process in that way. And they're about, for me, it's about bonding with this new woodland that I'm now walking in every day. Bonding with the place. I don't know if I can get away with moving on already. Stay and don't stick anywhere you shouldn't. I've got here as well, those aren't covering really, but maybe it needs more than just that. Or maybe this can go. See, I'm going to start adding pages. It's already thick, my journal, and I'm going to start adding even more pages. I wonder if I just stick that on there. I might just tear that bit off and stick that on there. And the bit I tear off I use somewhere else. Just because of it, the memories associated with it. It's just, you know, I'd like it to be in this journal. And I'm going to lose the other side, but this side is really the star. Whoops, knocked my glue over. Sorry, it made you rattle. I'll just go central. I'm going to try with the glue stick. I can always come back and glue it with something else, or put some stitches in it or something. Which way around did I say? Which way did I say I wanted it now? This way. Quick before the glue dries, Catherine. And it's quite thin cloth, so it probably will be alright with the Pritt. Not the Pritt, the Yoo-hoo. That used to be their advertising, I don't know if it still is, wasn't it? Don't say glue, say Yoo-hoo. I do believe Yoo-hoo is German for owl, because they're a German company. It's German for a certain, is it eagle owl, I think? Random factoid. There we go, so I like that little edge sticking out there. That needs a bit more glue up there. There we go. That's good. Adding even more thickness, but we like that. That is another pocket. I think I wanted to put some leaves in there, but I haven't yet waxed my. Here are my leaves in one of my painting rags for safekeeping. But I need to wax them because they're very fragile. The other thing you can do is matte medium them. If you want to know how to wax leaves, in my eco printing playlist there's a tutorial. But I might wax them and then put them in there. But I won't do that now because that involves getting the iron out and all kinds of palaver. Right, so I've got this, which is all a bit plain. Still got the Mary Oliver lines. Which I love. I love that whole poem, but that last line. Maybe we'll put that on there. Quite like that you can see that through as well. And let's stick with our main objective of using this. something like that. Let's put that back safely in there. And I've got that bit that I tore off there, so maybe that's nice to use. Something like that. Yes, let's do that. So I'm going to start with that. Try the glue stick. Where's my glue book? It's tracing paper, so I have used, I did do when I did the spread in the mixed media journal with all the photographs, the tracing paper with a wet glue. I think it was mixed medium that I used there. Matte medium that I used there. When you get tracing paper wet, it does that look, even with glue stick. It rolls up and so it would have made more sense to put the glue stick on the thing I'm sticking it to. And even when you spread it out, sometimes you get wrinkles, but that's the nature of the beast. So that's that. Where's this next? Just down there. We'll do the glue stick again. And I still don't yet know whether I'm going to make this a pocket or just leave it as a flippy outy thing. That way. But you know, I've made a start. It adds an extra layer there, and then I've got this, which will need the tacky glue, I think. And then it'll need time to dry. That's the trouble, isn't it, when you're doing a book? You want to turn the page and move. That's a lot of glue, Catherine. Stop now. You want to turn the page and move on, but you have to wait for things to dry. And that does slow you down, but perhaps while I'm waiting for this to dry, because it's quite a lot of glue, I'll make a little assemblage of some kind. That might be a good idea, that we can then put in somewhere further on. That's going to take a minute. Do you see how the tracing paper has got little wrinkles in, but I don't mind that. I didn't ink the edges, and you maybe were all shouting at me, but I didn't hear you. Never mind, maybe I'll stick something else around, or I can go and colour with a crayon or, you know, something. You get glue on your finger and then it wants to stick to your finger. Right, just leave it alone, Catherine. So I shall put that over there for a minute. And let's just make a thing. Let's make a thing. And then said thing can be attached somewhere. This needs something a bit more contrasty. I've got this other bit of rust printed linen. Yeah, that's not contrasty, is it, Catherine? That's virtually a perfect match. This bit of silk. That's quite nice. Glue on my fingers. I'm just riffling off camera. No, that's not the right colour. It's down here on the bottom. A bit of eco print. That was a very nice bit of eco print. I think as if I show you, you'll all tell me to make it into a scarf and not rip it up. Sorry. Look at that. That was an eco print bundle that I cooked in an exhausted madder bath. So it was a bath of madder, which is a root that gives you red, that I'd already dyed with many times, and the bit that was left I used to cook my bundle in. But yeah, my thing about scarves, I've done so much eco printing. I don't have stacks and stacks of it because I don't make stacks and stacks of it. But I've done so much eco printing over the years that, and in the beginning every piece is, you know, a joy. It's still a joy. But every piece feels precious and you don't want to cut it up. But after a while you realise that cutting it up, stitching it and whatever is the point. Oh, that's also quite nice. So it's what it's for, you know, to my mind. And that's just me. If you want to eco print scarves for yourself, you go for it. How about that? And that's that and that instead of the gold. Oh, I do like it with the gold there. Yes, I like that it's wrinkled. Let's try and tear this here somewhere. So thank you for playing green bit. You'll have a home somewhere else. I think I'm going to leave that all crunkled like that, crunkled and rumpled. Maybe offset. It's a bit too much offsetting. Just crunkle it a bit more. Let's crunkle it over the edge of this. Something like that. Put some pins in it. Got two then. In the spirit of the cloth folding that we did in one of the weeks last year, if you followed the slow stitch project. That'll do, pig. So I'm just going to tear this a bit somewhere here, which is quite hard to tear, but doable. Sorry, I'm throwing the scissors around and making a big noise. And make the edges nice and fluffy. And then just do some stitching just to hold all that together. And then when that's done, that probably needs a word as well somewhere. What colour thread do we want? Do we want that orange again? That's quite good, isn't it? It's laying there. Why not? It's nice to repeat things as well. So I think I'm just going to do some kind of big messy seed stitches of a kind, just to hold everything down. So like I'm going to pull it right through. That was not what I meant to do. No, don't pull so hard. So just literally stitches going in all directions. All different sizes. Yes, and my blind, with all the sunshine that we've been having, that far side of the mobile home that's now behind me is south facing. And I know it's only early March, but even with the sun as it is now, it gets really warm on that side. And I've got that sheer curtain at the window. If you watch Park Home Life, or a good few weeks ago, you'll see that there's like a sheer curtain, and I made a pelmet along the top with some eco print that I'd been stitching over the years, and I cut it and reassembled it to make a pelmet type thing. Oh, there's someone at the door, excuse me. Okay, guess who was at the door? I'll just finish the window blind story so I don't forget. So basically I'm making a thicker blind to hang in front of that I can drop down when it's sunny. And I've gone through my whips and I've got some scraps of furnishing fabric, and I'm basically just machine stitching them all onto a bit of old sheet, and I'll show you when it's done. But look how exciting. It was the postman. This is from Maria, who is in our lovely community. Thank you so much, Maria. I won't open the card because there's a personal message inside, but I wanted to show you because it's the Mad Hatter's Tea Party from Alice in Wonderland. But what she has sent me is some ink daubers, whatever you call them. Look! Proper ones! With replaceable thingy-bobs. I think they're the Tim Holtz ones. And she put the cardboard in, which I've taken out. And replacement, what's names? 2 of them. So that's brilliant. I don't need to be dropping bits of foam all over my work anymore. Thank you so much, Maria. Excuse me, they're much more sturdy than my little one that I have been using. Wonderful. And all these goodies, I'll just show you quickly. What's in here? Jewels. Jewellery. Oh, look at those. They're cute. I hope you can see. Have I got it in the right place for you to see? On my gluey inky hands. Lovely beads. Oh, I know where these might be going soon. I shall say no more. fabulous. Thank you so much, Maria. They're great. And I should put them back in our little pouch for now. And a little bundle of some lovely silk. I expect you want to see. Oh, that's nice. Look at that. That's beautiful. Lovely cloth. And a bit of sari silk. There's another picture. Oh, these are lovely. And oh, what's this? A little envelope, which I don't want to tear. Get something in there. Can I open it without tearing it? It reminds me of my granny. She always used to do this with envelopes. And you always knew when you gave her a birthday card, you know, hand delivered, or a Christmas card or something, not to write on the envelope because she liked to keep the envelope. There we go. That's okay, I can use that again. A lovely sound that makes. Oh, look, all kinds of treasure. I'll put them in there so I can show you. I love that. Some little stamps. Vintage stamps. Butterflies. Are they stickers? The Kentish Glory. Tobacco, cigarette cards. They're wonderful. And some little frames. Those are great too. You just want to play with things straight away, don't you? That's not quite big enough for him. And I think do they call these die cuts? I don't know. I don't know the terms, but they're fabulous, aren't they? Thank you so much, Maria. I don't normally show, you know, things when people send me things, because I hope Maria doesn't mind. Maybe I should have asked first. Maybe I'll ask before I edit, and then I can edit it out. I don't think she'll mind. I knew they were coming, obviously, because I gave them my address, and but I didn't know when. So that's what I'm going to use that straight away. Next inking job. You're relegated. And if I can use the stick, I can probably get the foam off and use the stick or something. But yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Maria. I shall also message you, obviously, privately. So, new dobber. I shall go back to stitching this. Okay, I've finished the seed stitching. I did that out because that went on a bit, and I didn't say anything, so you didn't miss anything. So I don't know where I'm going to put this yet, but I found this word in my tin, home, which seems appropriate because what I said about bonding with the woods, the new, new to me woods, they're not my woods, but you know what I mean. But I'm going to ink it, and I didn't want to do that off camera because I wanted to share with you the inaugural inking, the inaugural voyage of the new dobber. And that nearly sounds like a book by C.S. Lewis, doesn't it? The Voyage of the Dawn Dobber. The Voyage of the Dawn Treader? Yes. Right, so here we go. Probably we need to get it really inky to start with because it's new. Oh, look at that. It's a joy. It's a joy to use. And there's no bits falling off it. And it feels nice to hold. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Maria. And because there's two, I could use one for black and one for brown. But knowing me, that would never last as an idea. So I shall probably just keep one for spare. Fabulous. Great. Put its lid on. So I'm going to glue that word onto there and find somewhere to put that. That's that one all dry. See, putting the glue on did curl that paper up a bit, but no matter. Either that will get stuck down as a pocket, or I'll stick. Let's see where we want to put this home. That's already got quite a lot going on. Not to say it won't have more going on. Oh, here we go. Look at this. Well, that seems to be the very place, doesn't it? So I'm going to stick that on there. It's thick card and cloth, so I'm going to use a tacky glue. Just spread it out a bit. Finger tool, damp rag. Whoops. Come here. There we go. So, excellent. I like that. I like the little bit of orange that's been introduced. I don't think I've done orange anywhere else. I don't completely remember. So we did, just to recap, with all the excitement that happened in between of the postman coming. So we gave Kate a little headdress with an emerald, real emerald. I'm sure that's real emerald melt, isn't it? And in turn that led to us putting this little unit on the back to hide the legs of the emerald, and then underneath I've got hidden messages, secrets and stories, and then my words from an old book. She screamed but did not run away. I hope I'm in shot, yes. So, and in this little pocket there's a few of the tiny scraps. Actually there's another scrap that fell off, I might put that in there as well. I've got plenty more of those scraps, but you know, I've just run out of time, so next time. Something's wrapped around it now, never mind. So that can tuck in there. And then, well, what else did we do? Oh yeah, we stuck those on there. Me and the mouse in my pocket, I believe there's the expression. I stuck those on there as a little bracket around that imperfectionist beauty. And I think, was that it then, apart from that last one? Oh no, we did this as well. I keep saying we. That little bit there, just as a little element. And then this side I stuck my piece of cloth from Barrington. And that does seem to be stuck quite well. And then I did this, which is, it needs more. It's, you know, it's just a start, that, as far as I'm concerned. It needs more, maybe colour in it or something, but that's for next time. And then finally this little element with one of the larger pieces from the woods with the very rusty rust, so I chose this very pale orange silk which I scrunched up, and the orange seed stitching and the word home, because that relates to the woodland, and it's stuck where it shouldn't. It's fine. So there we go. So I've done a little bit more work in there. Obviously there's plenty more work to do. That's for another day. So thank you again, Maria. Do check out the Quirky Quilters have also got a Facebook page. Lovely Helen told me recently. I'll put a link to their Facebook page. I'll put all the details about Anna's exhibition in Uckfield. And there was something else that I said I'd put, and I'll see when I'm editing and remember to put that there as well. So meanwhile, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying either just watching, that's fine, or if you're making your own slow journal, I've given you some more ideas and inspiration, and I look forward to you joining me next time for more slow journaling tales. Bye bye.